Alright. How's everybody doing today? I see Brian, Redhawk, Devness, not negative, Big McMuffins. Ooh, a McMuffin right now would be pretty nice. Hangman, hello, hello. Alright, so I guess we could wait another minute, or we could just go ahead and start right now. So late stream tonight. I just came back from a baseball game. I know. No, I don't like watching baseball. My friends bought tickets because it was an alumni event. So I went there. They're good friends. Sport, it's okay. And I'm glad I'm not invested in it because we lost. So, you know, I've got no heartache. What's up, Yelp? Devness says, man, ever since they started doing 24-hour breakfast at McDonald's, I've been eating too many McMuffins. Do you eat it with the Jell-O, by the way? What do you eat it with? Neflock, what's up? Big McMuffin says, I'm Vegan Dumpling on Discord. Is there any way for me to change my name on Twitch to be Vegan Dumpling? Just by itself? Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I have to eat it with something. I can't just eat a McMuffin just like that. There's gotta be something. But yeah, you can change your name. I changed mine a few months ago, I think. Okay, so big stream. I should be up pretty late tonight because I have to desolder this thing and I have a lot of work to do tomorrow. But yeah, so for those of you who don't quite know what's going on, so this just arrived today. I picked it up. How long ago was it? 6 hours ago. Holy shit, it's been 6 hours. Damn, I spent so much time at the ball game. Yeah, so I picked this up 6 hours ago. And I'm gonna unbox it. And I'm gonna disassemble it live on stream. I'm gonna desolder it off stream. And then we're gonna do a rebuild tomorrow. And so this is pretty hyped. It's the OTD 356 Mini V1. There are two versions of it as far as I know, V1 and V2, some minor changes. And so the OTD 356 Mini is famously known for being a gasket mount, although it's kind of a misnomer. You'll see that it's not really mounted on a gasket, but it's still, the gasket still is an important feature and distinction of the 356 Mini, but it's not really mounted on a gas count. Oh, titties. Oh yes. Hey, how's it going, NGB? I mean, it was okay. I don't like watching baseball. It's all right. Yeah, not much of a baseball kind of guy. God says, I just realized today I forgot to send you the USB to PS2 adapter. Well, fucking rip. Is it? Okay, PS2 to USB. Yeah, see, I have the reverse. I have USB to PS2. I think you're talking about PS2 to USB, right? Or is it the other way around? But basically, I have the opposite. Maybe I have to go find one. Yeah. I can't test it out. Oh well. Cole dominated. You mean Joe Cole? Ashley Cole? Alright. So just YOLO? I guess so. I guess we can do that. It's just 60 keys, right? It shouldn't be that bad. So yeah, so before we begin, I think a good thing... Hey, Dothead, look at you 6 months in a row. 6 months. How's summer going, by the way? I know you went on vacation, right? And you're teaching an online class, I want to say? Or is it 2 online classes? And yeah, of course the package isn't open yet. That's why it's an unboxing, right? Literally unboxing. Hey, what's up, Russ? Get a cold picture for Astros. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. This is God's OTD Mini. He says it's the best sounding board that he has in his arsenal. Although he still prefers a TKL layout, so that's why his daily driver is the 360 Corsa instead of the Mini. Oh, like you're not late. Okay, yeah. That's good, yeah. Well, because I'm late. What's up, Grail? And Hearthstones? Yes, another OTD. Only on this channel, right, guys? All thanks to... Praise be to our God. What did you do at a game? You were on Discord? Yeah, I had to charge my phone on the way there, so that I had something to do at the ball game. Yeah, my friend went there to kind of look for other alumni, you know, look for her friends and stuff. I couldn't be fucking bothered. It's like, oh, you want to go try and see if you know see if you can find anyone, you know? Nope, no thanks, I'm gonna sit back down. Godhead says... Hey, what's up, Zoology? Godhead says... And long queue to pie, hey. Just got home, I was in Cancun and Belize for 18 days. The online stuff is kind of lame, but it is what it is. Excited about this Mini. Oh, yes. Okay. So we shall check it out. So, standard FedEx packaging. But I guess we at least got food and stuff. The tickets included hot dogs and nachos and really bad grilled chicken. Really fucking bad grilled chicken. I ate maybe half of my chicken patty, or I guess it's a breast. And I puked the second half out because it's just nasty. That's the worst, right? That's what should piss vegans off. Vegans shouldn't be just pissed off about meat eating. They should be pissed off about bad cooking. Right? If a chicken has to be tortured for me to enjoy it, that's still a better use of chicken than if I tortured it and just destroyed the meat and just made it just absolute shit. Right? Then there's basically no enjoyment out of it. Right. That's what vegans should be up in arms about. Bad meat. Badly cooked meat. If it's not good for the tongue and the taste buds, what is it good for? How much it costs to ship a board on average? Yeah, it depends. Are you talking about both ways? Hey, look, Filipino player is actually here. Yeah, the chicken was bad. Yeah. Yep, see, I wasn't lying. Chicken was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I couldn't even finish it. Okay, so just gonna unbox it. So yeah, so this thing is, first of all, it's hard to find, and if you can find it, it's around $1,500. What's up, Arctic Fox? You're just in time, actually. All right, isn't it really late now for you? It's almost 2 a.m., right? Yeah, we're rebuilding it. Right? Yeah, I think to switch the stabilizers out, right? Okay, so this is a kin bag. It's not included in the with the keyboard, obviously. This was bought separately. Okay. So bag is definitely a bit too big for the board. Right. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, back then I think the smallest you could get was a 75%, I want to say. Alright, so first impressions. Pretty heavy for a 60%. At least the top looks alright. There's a bit of a faint scratch over here, if you can see that. Yeah, and it's almost impossible to find them unbuilt. So as you can see, first off, of course, as with anodizing, it's really hard to get it to be the same shade. So you can see it's not perfectly matched. Right, the top is the bottom. I want to say is darker. Yeah. You can see a bit of just streaking and stuff. Right, you can see the lines and everything. And the seams on this thing, they're not as good as the ones on the 360 Corsa. The ones on the 360 Corsa are almost imperceptible, whereas this one, yeah, you can feel it for sure. Okay, so and the seams just aren't as clean. Oh, I just realized. No wonder it's kind of dim. Alright. Yeah, you can see it's got some discoloration over here around the seams. Some nicks over here and here as well. You can see there's a little gap here. Yeah, more streaking at the back. But this isn't the reason you're buying a 356 Mini though. Look at the bottom. That is an unfinished brass bottom. But it looks like someone definitely finished on it. Right, so yeah, so definitely very tarnished. Wait, I hit the 10K views? Really? Did I really hit 10K views? Shit, I was supposed to announce something when I hit the 10K. I didn't get around to it. Are we really at 10K? Damn. Because I know the last time I checked, we were at 9.9. Damn. Hey, that's a big milestone. Alright. So since we hit 10K, and quite an appropriate time to hit 10K too, right? The 356 Mini has been a... What's the word? It's been God's... What's something you try to chase? White whale? Right? That's what it is, right? But yes, so it's been something that he's wanted for a while now. He's been looking for one for a long time. And we've talked about it a lot too. We talk about it a lot in the context of the cock keyboard as well. And so I just realized I'm using the wrong mat for this. Let me use another mat. Yeah, the red just kind of blends in with everything. I'm just gonna put one mat on top of the other. That's fuck it. Triple desk mat. Alright, that's a lot better. Okay, and so what was I saying? I was saying, yeah, so this has been something that we've been looking forward to a lot, and God says it lives up to the hype in terms of sound and typing feel and all that, and I'm pretty excited because if this is better than the Corsa, that's something. All right, and so hopefully we can take some cues from this on the cock keyboard. And for those of you who don't know what that is, join the Discord. You'll see a channel over there. And no, it is not an interest check. It's just a way for us to give out updates and stuff, and for people to talk about it. But no, we aren't really taking any suggestions for it, honestly, or at the moment. Anyway, so this thing has a plate mount mechanism that's a bit different, and then it has a gasket, so it's actually very, very different from most custom keyboards out there. So, and since we're talking about this, I think Proximity has the best overview of it. He has a write-up on it on GeekHack. If someone wants to look it up and link it here, it's called the Lost Manual. OTD 356 Mini, the Lost Manual, something like that. And so Proximity is also in the Discord. And yeah, and we've told him a few times that we're really grateful for that. Alright, NGB, thanks for the bits. Yeah, 10K. Okay, so we're talking about that. And you know, great keyboard to hit 10K on. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in today. And for those of you who've tuned in, you know, over the 10K views, it's been almost a year since I started doing this. So pretty good, and it's pretty exciting. It's nice to actually see tangible growth. And again, I appreciate each and every one of you, people who've donated, people who've cheered. Special shout out to the man behind all the ducks and the OTDs, our resident deity, the only immortal being in our Discord and on Twitch chat, the only man with the 4 flares here in Twitch chat, my only moderator, self-appointed moderator, but yes. So I really want to thank him for everything as well. He's been a good friend, very, very kind, very generous, and hey, look at that, he's still here. But yeah, so 10,000, that's pretty big. And I swear we'll get back to the keyboard. But again, I appreciate each and every one of you. You know, I'm not gonna shed a tear. Unless you're chopping onions, and then, not from the chopping onions, but if you chop the onions in front of me and then you don't give them to me, then I might weep. Okay, but yeah, thanks for letting me know we hit 10K. Okay, so we'll do a giveaway. Yep, the long cutie pie says surprise 356 mini giveaway. For 10, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll do something. But okay, so the board. Let's check. So it's got Imsto. If you're wondering what keycaps are on it, it's Imsto black and orange Cyrillic PBT die subs. It is, or also known as Ural. I want to say, maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. Ural. But yeah, so if you want to check out the keycaps close up, this is one of my favorite keycap sets of all time. And like an idiot, I actually had this. I had this a while back. And like the fucking moron that I am, I sold it off. And I sold it for only $130. This thing right now, if you want to look for it, it's usually around $200. And yeah, I was an idiot. Sold it to the legend on this thing. Super nice. Right, look at that. Look at how nice and sharp they are. They're so fucking good. Look at that. Look at that shit. Look at that kerning. Oh, look at how the F and T are not too far apart. Suck on that shit, Max Key. Right. Look at the enter key. Look at how everything lines up. Eat dick, JTK. And look at the dice up legends. Look at how aligned everything is. XDA Canvas, I'm looking at you. And Dev Titty as well. Yeah, so these are proper endgame keycaps. Right. Some guys enjoy PvT and tell you it's endgame. It's not endgame. The legend's not perfect. These are pretty good. Okay, so and oh yeah, so yeah, this thing also has tighter switch spacing as well. So that's one thing that's unique about this, and I think that it wasn't so much a conscious decision. I think it was just because this is actually one of the first, I'm not sure if it's the first, but it's one of the first truly custom 60% keyboards. And so they didn't really get the spacing right as well. Or they just wanted to make it even smaller. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. It's not standard spacing. So you can't replace it with another PCB. And smaller than standard spacing, I personally don't really like it because that means some keycaps might get fucked. DSA comes to mind. If they're warped, or PVT, yeah, even BSP. If it's warped, they might touch each other. If you put box switches, then again, why would you put box switches on an OTD Mini? If you put box switches and the switches tilt, they're probably gonna touch each other because of how close everything is. Switch name from cock to onion. Olivetti? No. It's the KV fans. So what's up, Reds Phones? Okay, who else is here that I haven't greeted yet? Let's see. What right shift is that? No, this is the same right actually you're right. I'm pretty sure Uro had a different right, had a right shift, because I used to use it. Yeah. Did the set not come with? It's actually from the same set. Let me think. What did I use Uro on? Yeah, we'll have to find a picture. But anyway, so let's get started. Let's go ahead and do a quick typing test before we take everything apart. Currently it has looped vintage blacks. Oh my god, this spacebar feels so heavy. And of course it's not really straight as well. I don't get people who make spacebars so heavy. Why the fuck would you do that to yourself? We're gonna fix that. So yeah, that's not a good sound. So we're gonna try to fix that. Okay, so I'm not sure how much you can see on camera. Because you can't see flex on camera, but man, this sounds really nice. Listen to that. Hey, what's up, Gawk? Is this a poker of Enjoy PvT keycaps? Dumb wrestlers. Also, speaking of Gawk, don't forget his black on white Enjoy PvT set. It actually hit MOQ, so great job. I like that. I think how many were sold? 111, I think. I remember the number is 89, so 111, right? Okay. My God. So yeah, feels pretty nice. Let's go ahead and take it apart. Because there's not a whole lot that goes on the outside. It's what's on the inside that counts. What do you need to desolder alphas if you're just changing stabs and spacebar? You need to remove the plate to be able to get to the stabilizers. feel the crescendo coming. Oh man, one of my biggest regrets in life. Second biggest regret. First biggest regret was coming to Hardin Simmons in Texas. That's definitely the biggest regret. Second biggest regret. Well, maybe second sounds. Maybe not second. Well, what's up there? Is turning down the opportunity to play the piano. My parents, like any other Asian parent, wanted me to play the piano, and I said no. Because I was a lazy piece of shit. I still am, but I'm more aware of it now. Back then I was completely unaware. But unlike other Asian parents, my parents didn't force me to do it. They're just like, oh, okay. I guess they thought, oh, we get to save money. Yeah, I really regret it. And fun fact, my parents also wanted me to do gymnastics when I was younger. I was a flexible little kid, and I see a picture of me with my foot all the way up on my head. And so, oh man, we should send him to do gymnastics. And again, I turned that down because I was a lazy piece of shit, like I said. All I did was watch Barney and play Lego, roll on the floor. Hey, not negative, thanks for the cheer, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Look at you. You're number one today. But yeah, the spacebar sounds pretty bad. And so, yeah, I regret not learning the piano. That would have been nice. Because a big problem that I have is I can't do, or at least when I used to do music quite a bit, I could not, it was just difficult for me to get to every time I got a gig, it was just difficult because I'd have to find someone to play either the piano or the guitar for me. And, you know, I can't really record anything at home because, again, it's weird to just do a cappella. It's even weirder to just record yourself with a pre-recorded track in the background. So, that sucks. Because, you know, if you can play an instrument, try to sing. If you can't, then it's fine. If you can sing, definitely pick up an instrument. And so, I mean, at the time, I didn't think I would do music, right? You're a fucking 5-year-old kid. You wouldn't know. Okay, so it's got Allen screws. Let's take them out. Grail says, I wonder how box names are going to sound on that. It's going to sound like a big waste of money. That's what it's going to sound like. GMK gray on black with white alpha RGB wants. Okay, that's enough. Mute it. Not negative says 100 bits or 200 bits for making me hard with this sexy board. Oh boy. I'm glad I could give you some late Thursday night action. Not negative. Hey look, the screws are actually magnetic. That was the other day, not when you were a kid, and don't lie. If you play a lot of piano, you probably will type faster. Yeah, you probably type faster and your fingers won't tire as easy. Yeah. It's all them fingering skills, man. Nowadays you go on America's Got Talent. Okay, so let's take a look at the board. First of all, it's got a limited edition orange shelf liner made in Korea. This is actually the best part about OTDs. If you look at the OTD 360 course, it also has this. All right, it's no joke. These things are really good at holding your bowls and utensils in the shelf. Doesn't really do much for keyboards, honestly. I'm sure it does something, but it doesn't really do anything. I've seen people try to sell it as silencing foam. Fucking bullshit. Someone tried to sell a keyboard and he marked it up and said, yeah, I modded it with silencing foam, and it's literally just shelf liner. And he got into a big fit when some people pointed out, hey man, that's not exactly silencing foam. Okay, so we've got the top, very lightweight. So let's check this out. So again, Proximity has a bunch of pictures and stuff, so I'm just going to show you guys more in video form. If there's any specific angle you want me to look at, please let me know. I'll get that done for you. Right, because again, this is a once in a lifetime thing until God gets his next OTD. But yes, okay, so you see you've got some, you see these are actually for the bottom. So if you look at the bottom, you will see it's got ridges all over to hold the top and the bottom in place. So kind of like the OTD 360 Corsa, except this one doesn't grip onto the top. So on the 360 Corsa, the bottom and the top are actually held pretty tightly. And so even after you unscrew it, the bottom stays on, the top also stays on, and you have to pull them apart. But on this thing, it's just kind of just as positioning, I guess, just to keep them sort of straight enough. So the top, there's really not that much that's special, really. Oh, and it holds the wings. That's right. The ridges hold the wings. I forgot to say that. Okay, see, so I said these ridges. So it's not just to hold the top and bottom in place, you also use them for your plate when it goes in. And so as you can see, without the top on, see it rests on top of those things, sort of. Well, they don't actually. Hold on. No, they never rest on them actually. What the fuck? Okay, I see. Okay, so whatever I just said, ignore whatever I just fucking said. So, my first time seeing an OTD close up. OTD 356 Mini. Okay, so you can see it doesn't land on the aluminum. Right, so this is kind of weird, just that it floats. There's nothing that prevents the wings from clapping against the top as well. I guess it's just extra space. Well, we'll see. We'll put it back on and we'll see. But okay, so if you look at the board, you'll see it's got a gasket that runs all throughout between the PCB and plate. So you can see that. And of course it's not actually perfect because it doesn't take into account your PCB mount stabilizers. Look at that. Yeah, but it goes across like that, and you will see the mounting points for where the top and the bottom meet. Screw the top and the bottom. So the piece of rubber, the gasket, will actually rest on these steps over here. So if you don't understand anything, please let me know, because it's quite confusing. And again, it's hard enough to tell in pictures, and words is even harder. And I think in video, definitely it's the best way to do it. Hey, what's up, CLD SKT? Yeah, so if I put this on, you will see the wings don't touch the bottom. All right, you see that? The wings don't touch the bottom. And I think even more, here we go. Okay, yeah, the wings don't touch the bottom. See, even for the back, right? You see there's a gap between the wings and the ridge that I was talking about earlier. Right, so yeah, so the ridge is primarily for the positioning, like I said. So yeah, I was right with the first guess. But yeah, so you see there's a gap, right? There's a gap, and if I can somehow, okay, maybe this part you can see, it makes it kind of obvious. Look at that. Okay, so this is how the whole thing is resting on this gasket over here. All right, you see that? Remember the mounting point? All right, this mounting point. Remember this guy right here? So you will see that the PCB also has holes to accommodate that. And if I put this thing on, you will see the gasket is actually red. So the rubber is resting on top of the metal. See that? And so it's a bit springy. It's not really that springy really, but it has some give. All right, see that? Oh, is Gok going already? All right, see you, Gok. The wings for a perfect sandwich between the top and bottom case. Sandwich between the top and bottom. After the case is screwed together because the gasket compresses. Okay, so you're saying that they do all this, but it's not really that necessary. So again, we're just kind of looking at it as we go, right? I'm not saying I know exactly how all this works. We're just kind of taking a look at it. Okay, so if you put the thing back on, it would be way easier if we can see all this. The top are transparent. But yeah, okay, so if you put the top on, right, you'll see there's also a gap because, again, that's because of the gasket, right? It's being in the way. So if we just slam it down, if we screw it in, then everything will be tight, apparently. Right, so if you're asking me, well, what the hell is the gasket for? Beats the fuck out of me. That's what we're trying to figure out. Yeah, so it's first of all, it does float. It does float. The gasket does float over the thing. So the plate is not screwed, does not touch any screws basically. But the whole thing at the end of the day is screwed down. And so it's basically a lot of tension between So it's mainly to get a tight seal. And I'm pretty sure it does, at least from what I'm looking at, it does two things from what I can guess. It does not actually make the thing really flex. I don't think so. I think that's a property that's gonna be, or at least even if it does affect it, I don't think it affects it very much because of how it all sandwiches tightly against each other. Again, like I said, we're all guessing, right? Again, I'm no OTD expert. I can't read fucking Korean. People have asked me a lot. No, I can't read Korean, so maybe someone can go to OTD and dig all that stuff up. And sadly, most people these days don't care about the engineering that goes into making a good custom keyboard. We're all about, ooh, but I want to have a brass width. I want to show off my brass. Give me some RGB. But anyway, so what I'm guessing is it does two things. The main one is to get a good seal for the sandwich, so that the outside is still sealed nicely, right? Still two parts together. Cause I think what happened yeah, so they try to go for a sandwich mount, and then they wanted to get a good seal so that the plate would be pushed up against the case, against the top of the case. All right, they'll be pushed up, the wings will be pushed up. And so if there's any imperfections between the top and bottom when machining, especially on a sandwich mount, you know, you can still get the perfect seal. Because you can see most sandwich mount, so for example, like the new TX boards, it's not a perfect seal between or I guess it sort of, but not really at the same time. It's not a perfect seal between the top and bottom. And for the old TX boards, you'll see that, you know, they have a different piece. It doesn't just sit flush against the bottom. Yeah, so God says his theory is the purpose of the gasket is to dampen all vibrations before they make it to the wings. Sort of. Because for me, my problem is that the wings are still in contact at the top. Because of how tight everything is. And I think if that's what they were trying to achieve, then they would have tried to put some sort of rubber or a similar gasket mechanism on top as well, between the plate and the top, right? Because then if you're already going to do that, then you might as well do it for the top too. With respect said, I left them in my room. I came back, I went out without my glasses. Either the vibration had to travel over a rubber piece before getting to the wing. Well, sort of, right? Because the switch still travel, the vibration still should still travel through the plate. Because if you're talking in terms of the gasket, then you're talking the PCB and stuff, right? The whole thing. But just from the switch, there's gonna be vibrations that travel across the plate and then hitting the top, right? But yeah, if it were just freely somehow floating like that, that would be cool. If you could just put a similar gasket across the top and then sandwich so that there's no metal on metal contact, that would be pretty interesting. And that would be a true gasket mount, right? But yeah, so this is cool and all. So again, it's kind of weird. It's like you put a suspension on the car, but at the end of the day, you make it so that it's not springy, still, because of how stiff everything is. Because you just slam everything tight against each other. Right. But I think one thing that it also does is it acts as sort of a seal between the plate and, because if you see, it actually blocks out almost, it fits almost perfectly, right? Sort of. It blocks out quite a big part. Between the gap between the plate and PCB. Right? So another thing that it does, again, it might not be a big difference, but I'm sure it makes some difference, is that it maybe reduces the sound that comes from the space between the plate and PCB. Right, so instead of trying to put foam all across the whole thing, which will impact how straight your plate and PCB are and stuff like that, you know, you just seal it off. Right? And you might think, I'm sure that doesn't make that big a difference. I will say that if you take your cherry switches, you swap a gather on top on it, right? Just the top. Again, you try the same switches, you try different tops, and you can try the RGB tops as well if you want them both to be transparent. You can hear one way more than the other. So I think the thing that really confirmed it for me was when I was stem swapping the Xylants. So I took Xylants and I swapped the top for cherry tops, and a lot of the sound gets diminished because it's a better seal. Because gather tops have a big gap around the stem, and so you hear a lot of the spring noise, a lot of the leaf noise, and if you seal it properly, you get rid of a lot of the crappy sounds, just noise. And so maybe that's also another thing that it does. Right, again, it's all a mystery. We don't know. And we could even try it without the gasket if we're mad. So the gasket is on there. See, this would have been so interesting if it's basically no metal on metal. It's just kind of weird. They went so far, but just kind of stopped short of that. I think metal on metal is necessary for it to not feel dull or dead. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. Because then why would you do it for just the bottom and not the top? I really don't think it's I don't think it's a conscious design decision. I think it's more of a compromise, if that makes sense. I think if they had the option to do the gasket for the top as well, they would have tried to do it. I think. If what we're thinking about the gasket is correct. This doesn't make sense. You go so far, you do all these, and in the end you just get metal on metal contact. Hey, what's up, Tefram and Alex? Both here. Who else did I miss? Okay, I think I said hi to CLD SKT already. Gawk had to go. Who else? I don't know why you'd still want metal on metal. That's one thing that I don't understand, is why you want metal on metal. Again, I think if they had it their way, they would actually not want metal on metal. Well, again though, because every time you try it, it's not a perfect A to B, right? There's always gaps and shit that come up. And I think that if you find a way to make it so that all the other dimensions are taken into account, can accommodate a sealant around it, a gasket around it, without making awkward gaps, then you can make a fair comparison. But yeah, I'm not on board with the whole metal being a Mustang. I think we're just trying to explain what looks like a compromise. At least that's what I can see. So let's try. Taking it out. We should put this thing back in. So janky. $1,500 thing, and all they did was this. Are all the screws the same size? Oh wow, I like that. Makes it a bit easier. NGB says, I'm going to put truffle spread between my plate and PCB and make a sandwich. Oh man, I went to Subway yesterday and this guy, so fucking stingy with the vegetables. He's a new guy. And my god. So you know when you go to Chipotle, you ask for grilled vegetables. You know, they're just going to grab a pair of tongs and just slap it on, right? And it almost always is the same amount of vegetables. This guy was literally picking individual vegetables out. And so it just looked really bad. It's just a few pieces on top of the rice. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Right? So I asked him 3-4 times, like, can I get more vegetables? Can I get more vegetables? And each time he would just grab a few individually, again, just piece by piece. And the stupidest part is, so this whole time he had a coworker who was beside him and he was serving another guy, and the coworker would just like, oh, okay, oh, vegetables, and he would just grab a bunch, slap it on, and I'm like, dude, the guy beside you just threw on a fuck ton of vegetables for that guy who didn't ask for extras. If you have no idea what you're doing, you're new, just copy what the other guy's doing. Right? What's so hard about that? Don't say, oh, I'm new here. Dude, just fucking look at what's going on beside you. Right? Just pisses me off. People like that just piss me off. The guy probably hates vegetables, and he's like, man, why would anyone want vegetables? I'm doing you a favor by not giving you more vegetables. Hey, what's up, not G10? Not G10. Anthony and I have the same pet peeves. I mean, it's in general, right? I just hate when people are so socially unaware that, you know, the best thing you can do when you don't know what's going on is to look at the people around you and just fucking copy people, right? That's better than nothing. Most of the time. We're not talking everything, right? I'm sure that's what happened during the whole Nazi thing. And go, I don't know what to do. Well, I guess everyone's doing that. But, you know, most of the time, step one, fucking look around you and see what's going on. Same thing in class, in lecture, or anything like that. You know, if something's going on, if you don't know what's happening, fucking shut your face, look around, see, oh, everyone's taking out a calculator, or everyone's taking out a computer, or everyone's taking out something. Do the same shit. Wait for what people are gonna do next. Before, excuse me, what's going on right now? Or just people just asking questions. Just hold up, look around you, see what's going on, and then fucking ask. If you still have no idea, if you've looked around, people have completed basically the whole process of something, and you still have no idea what's going on, okay, then maybe ask. Again, that one guy to piss me off so much yesterday. Just seriously, just why? And then sofrita, same thing as well. The sofritas were just really dry, right? The driest I've ever seen sofritas. Just nasty looking. And so, you know how sofritas are supposed to be kind of wet? It's supposed to be kind of like I want to say the chorizo or barbacoa. One of the ones that's supposed to be wet too. And that's basically my main reason why I get sofritas, because I want the sauce and stuff. And so he just grabbed the dry stuff and put it on me, even though I told him I don't want that. He still did it until the other guy was like, oh, what's the problem? I said, yeah, I'm not getting those sofritas. Like, okay, yeah, I'll grab you a new one. And then the other guy was kind enough to toss my bowl because he's like, yeah, you know, this is shit. We're not gonna serve that to you. Whereas the other guy was just like, whoa, this is fine. This is fine. Same thing in lettuce as well. I asked for some lettuce. He picks them out almost individually again and just kind of puts them on. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man? And so you can see my bowl compared to my brother's bowl. His was, you know, just a fucking mountain, and mine was just flatland. Just pisses me off. Why? Why are people so fucking retarded? Have you been to Texas to Brazil? Is that the steakhouse? No. I'm not interested in steak. I don't like stuffing my face in meat very much, honestly. Especially not Southern style. Okay, spacebar still sounds as bad without the gasket. Again, there's no gasket, right? You know, God, are you still here? I think I'm quite sure I know why they even thought about doing a gasket now. I think. Therefore I am. Oh. Fogo de Chao? Yeah, I think my brother's been there a couple times. Alright, so you're not negative. You at least got all the good parts. See you tomorrow for the build. Okay, so yeah. So what I'm trying to tell God is, I don't know whether he's still here. I'm sure he is. He's in all of us. In the least sexual way possible. Okay. See you, NGB, you're going to? Okay, so again, this was one of the first few custom keyboards, right? This was among the first, along with the OTD 360 Corsa and all the other OTDs. And so, what I think is, so they thought, okay, let's do a sandwich mount, sort of, right? Or something similar to a sandwich mount. Basically the same idea. But let's keep the same, we want the same simplistic, minimalist design, where it's two parts, right? Again, I actually hate this design, but whatever. Again, this is old. I'm gonna excuse them from it with the seam and everything. And so, problem with doing this is you want really good tolerances, and you want to make sure that everything's sealed properly, right? And it's hard to do that with a sandwich mount, because then if you have any sort of, you know, gap, you're gonna have a problem. And so, right now, we took the gasket out, and oh, whoops. I don't know how much you can see. It's really hard to show. Maybe I can bring it up. It's kind of hard to show. But basically, what I'm trying to get at is, without the gasket, you can feel the plate shift inside the case. Yeah. So yeah, so you can actually feel the whole thing move. You know, it's really hard to show. Especially when it's not just set down on a surface. But you can feel it too. Hell, you can actually even hear it. You hear it sort of, it's very faint. I don't know how it's getting captured. You hear that sound? I'm basically just shifting the plate. You can hear it. It's very faint. It's like a little, like a clock ticking sort of, right? And so, what I think is they did this and they're like, fuck, right? We did this, but you can still hear it buckling. And there's no buckling spring. It's definitely easy to hear on the right side. Hear that sound? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can just move. Again. Can you hear that? So it's basically hitting, a lot of it is coming from the plate hitting this portion. I mean, in general, it sounds the same. Listen to that. Well, technically, in terms of scratching, that's not how hardness works. Right? If you think aluminum, if you think pieces of stacks of aluminum on top of each other is what is gonna cause scratching, then you better not look at factory floor pictures of custom keyboard parts, because it's just stacks and stacks of aluminum cases. Either all the tops just stacked up one on top of each other without any kind of wrapping, without anything, just on one on top of the other. Because they're both aluminum, they're both anodized aluminum. Unless there's sand or anything in between, it's not gonna scratch like that. And again though, I'm not saying that there won't be a difference in sound at all. Right? Again, because I said, you know, another thing that does is it closes up the gap between the plate and PCB, and we found that even on a switch, even on a micro level, right, on a switch, you can hear the difference between a properly sealed top and a big gap top. But what I'm saying is, the primary reason it seems that they went for this is actually so that their sandwich works. Is there another example of a custom board with a sandwich plate before the 356 Mini? So I'm quite sure now that I have it in person, I think the primary reason, the main reason they went with that was to have tension between the that's why they even have metal-metal contact. It's not because they did it consciously. They were just like, okay, we have this idea. We're gonna sandwich it like this and this, and then they find out, shit, it moves around. The plate moves around still in the case because things are not tight enough. And if we try to make the case gap bigger, then you have a problem, because then it'll look pretty bad. Okay, let's find a way to introduce. We need a way to push everything up against the top. So essentially, technically, what you could also do is just put a lot of foam, kind of rubber or whatever, something that will compress but not by very much, and you just put layers and layers of that beneath the PCB. Yeah, which is why I said they didn't have anything to learn from. They didn't have anything really to draw from. So they probably did this and then figured, oh shit, tolerances aren't perfect. The thing moves around. And so let's find a way to create tension, to push the plate up against the top, to seal it properly. And then they introduced the gasket. I wouldn't say it's by accident. They already went around trying to do it. I'm saying that the gasket is not the primary contributor to it sounding great. Wait, instead of a gasket? Like I said though, you don't have to make it in this form. Right? A shitty way you could do it is to just put 2 or 3 of these on top of each other and just slam the whole thing down and screw it in. Or sober thing, whatever you want to use. That'll create enough tension for the plate to not move. You don't have to over-engineer like that. But I'm sure at the same time they weren't planning on anything beneath it. They didn't want it to feel stiff on the bottom of the PCB. So that's why they didn't go that route. Yeah. And see, it can't be too much about flex because there really isn't a lot of room. Look at the, so these cuts, look at that. It's literally touching the screw. Look at that shit. So there's a lot of metal contact. And I think the whole time they weren't even trying to avoid metal contact. The whole time they were just, sure, we'll do metal, that's fine. And find out, oh shit, we need a way to push everything up against the metal and metal parts. Holy damn, okay, see, you know how I always talk about warped spacebars? Look at this shit. And it has an off-center 6.25 U. Holy fuck. It's one bad decision after the other. For off-center, it's really hard to get both sides to sound exactly the same. Oh yeah, look at how warped that wire is. Built in Korea, fellas. Okay, and so if you want to check out the PCB, we'll take a closer look at this tomorrow as well. You will see it's got cuts in the PCB to try and introduce flex. To try. Does it actually work? I'm sure it does something. I don't know if it really works that much though. Because that's kind of arbitrary, right? Like, why would you just pick this part? Why didn't you also put some here or everywhere else? All right, because then they did this because they're kind of limited. I don't know. Maybe because of the PCB wiring and stuff. Which again, why would you do something kind of arbitrary? Why would you introduce something that you know that you can't do consistently? Why would you try to do that? So, who knows? Okay, so one thing I have to keep in mind is that the spacebar switch looks exactly the same as everything else. Alright, see you, the Arctic Fox. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, I really don't think that they care too much about it actually being a gasket mount, and they didn't even really think about the whole metal on metal thing. And from what I can tell from how they tried to introduce tension it's obvious that getting things as tight as possible is what they were trying to achieve. So I think if they could find a way to introduce a gasket on the top, they would have done it too. But they either figured it was too complicated or not worth the trouble, and maybe the difference was minimal. Okay, so as you can see, the nice thing about this plate is it's basically fixed, right? Look at that. So no gaps at all. And I like seeing this. I think that this is the way to go. You want as few gaps as possible. Okay, so it has a great stem. All right, that's good. Yeah, this baseball wire is pretty warped. I wonder if the gasket had anything to do with the warped spacebar wire, actually. Let me try to put it back on. Maybe it was pushed up against it. No, there should be room. Well, maybe not. Okay, I don't think it even touches the fucking thing, so it's the other guy just fucking up not getting a straight spacebar wire. Okay, and here we can see the weight. Right, unfinished brass. Has the OTD logo on it. It says 356 mini. And so that's the board. That's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm gonna desolder this tonight, and I will see you all tomorrow. So any other questions before I tune out? I don't think we'll be able to take this close of a look tomorrow. So anything else you want to see for the board real quick? We sign off for the night. All right, see you, Red Hawk. Thanks for tuning in. All right, anything else? Let me see if there's any questions that I missed. Please put Taiwan Miami on this and post it to RMK. Oh, I don't actually have any cheap sets left anymore. My brother still has Taiwan Miami. Alright, see you NGB. See you God. Long Cutie-Pie. The Arctic Fox has already gone. Who else is still here? Alright, see you, Alex and Brian. See you all tomorrow, hopefully. Alright. Have a good Friday.